Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So Huda Beauty's finally come out with her foundation and I'm here to tell you all about it. Huda launched 3 new products last week and she launched her new foundation, a primer and also a brush, and they all came out on the same day, and of course your girl had to get all of them. Before I get into the foundation, I just want to quickly touch on the primer and the brush. So the primer is £27 and it comes in this tube, but the tube has a pump. When I opened it, I was like, yes, Huda, like this is great, because it's so annoying when you have like makeup or anything in a tube and you're just trying to like squeeze the rest out of it. So yeah, I really like the fact that there's a pump. I'm just going to show you what this primer is like on my hand. So it's white in shade, but it is quite thick in texture. It's quite like, it's almost a little bit, I don't want to say gloopy, but it's quite thick in texture, but at the same time it's very moisturizing. Now this primer has got a bit of a scent to it and it's quite like a floral scent, which I'm not a massive fan of, but if you do like that, then great. I believe there's rose hip oil in it, which is great for your skin, so again, great for like nourishing and moisturizing. The sticky and tackiness of it, where I believe that's why it feels a little bit like thick and gloopy. I believe that's good for helping your makeup stick and last, so I can see why it would feel that way, but I know that some people are really not gonna like that and others are gonna understand why it's like that and not mind it so much, and I don't, because once your makeup's on, it doesn't really bother me that much, and I actually really do like the feel of the primer on my skin. Obviously not the tackiness, but I really like the moisturizing kind of effect it has on the skin. It's quite nice. So far I would say that this primer isn't a must. It's not like a must-have primer yet. If I mention it in an upcoming favorites video, then go get it, girl, but until then I can't say it's like a you need this in your life primer right now. Just bear in mind, guys, that these products have only been out for the last 5 days, so I'm telling you as much as I can. So far I do like this primer, but it's not like life-changing. And then we have the brush. Apologies for mine being dirty, it is because I have just used it to apply my foundation. But yeah, this brush is £22. It's called a face buff and blend brush. It's been made for you to like stipple your foundation on with, which is why it's got that really nice flat surface to it, and you can also buff your foundation in with this. There are a lot of hairs packed into this one brush, so it's quite a large brush. The brush is actually quite firm, but it's got a good amount of movement to it, but not too much. It's a really good firm, like fully packed brush, which I really like. It's definitely a nice brush. I haven't got anything bad to say about it, but it's just a bit, yeah, again, not life-changing. I would say the primer and the brush aren't really like a must. And finally, onto the actual Huda Beauty Faux Filter foundation. First of all, I just want to talk about the packaging. I really like how simple and elegant it is. I like this kind of faded ombre effect where it's like dark to light. It's just really nice and simple and kind of straightforward, which I like. The only thing I'm not keen on is the fact that it's plastic. Well, it's not that I'm not keen on, I just wasn't expecting a plastic bottle. I always feel like Huda cheaps out a little bit on her packaging for most of her products. Not her lip products, but yeah, her eyeshadow palettes, and I feel like the foundation also, she's cheaped out a little bit. I feel like a plastic bottle is going to be great for traveling with. If you're a makeup artist and you want to shove a load of these in your kit, I think that is fantastic. So if she's thinking about it in that way, then spot on. Yeah, I don't mind the plastic bottle. It's because of the price that I thought it would be a glass bottle. So speaking of price, this foundation is £32. Yeah, £32. So for me, I feel like this foundation is sitting more towards the luxury side. So for £32, I really was expecting a glass bottle. I mean, the L'Oreal True Match foundation is a drugstore foundation and that comes in a glass bottle. So Huda. But yeah, like I said, I'm not too mad, because really, when it comes to traveling and things like that, I know my bottle's not going to smash. So all in all, that's okay. Okay, so for £32, you're actually getting 35 mils of product, which I don't think any foundation comes in 35 mils. So Huda's kind of upped it and topped it a little bit in terms of how much product you're getting. And yeah, you're getting 35 mils for £32. Now I'm just going to touch on the foundation itself and how it wears and the finish, and then I will get onto shades. So just hang in there, people. Hang in there. I'm just going to read out the claims from the Cult Beauty website so you get a better understanding. It says the Faux Filter Foundation, offering a seamless full coverage matte finish. It's water resistant and practically budge proof. This opaque base is blessed with a beautiful petal-esque perfume and rich in skin nourishing argan oil. It has a demi matte but never flat effect. A little bit of this goes a long way. Build it up to achieve a HD ready finish. So as I mentioned, it says it's full coverage. I believe this foundation is definitely a full coverage foundation. Now, whenever a foundation says it's full coverage, I always compare it to the Marc Jacobs Remarkably Full Coverage Foundation. That's what it's called, because that foundation is next level full coverage, and I think it's kind of close to that. So in terms of full coverage, it definitely is. And because it is so full coverage, it's so highly pigmented, yeah, you can kind of sheer it down and wear it as more of a natural finish foundation, or you can build it up and make it super full coverage. For me, who likes to wear a full coverage foundation, and normally what I'll do is I'll lay on my foundation twice for it to achieve the most full coverage effect, if that makes sense. But with this foundation, I feel like I don't even need to go in with 2 layers. 1 layer of this foundation is actually enough for me to achieve full coverage, cover what I need it to, and without looking cakey also. Now, in regards to the finish, where it says, at one point it said it was matte, and then later on in the description it said that it was demi matte. I definitely believe it's a demi matte finish. I know that Huda says that this foundation, it's a cream and then it like dries and sets sort of to a powder, but I don't really think it does really go to that kind of that cream to powder effect. I just think it settles and it's quite demi matte. I feel like it just goes on really, really smooth. It looks like skin. Okay, if you're wearing it proper full coverage, it's not gonna look like skin, but it's still, it never looks cakey. That's what I mean. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't like mask a layer on your skin, if that makes sense. It's not like a layer of foundation sitting on top like some foundations do. This one kind of just works into your skin. It kind of just meshes in with it. And that's why I say it doesn't look cakey. It looks like skin, but it's almost, you know, got a little bit of a matte effect to it. So yeah, the finish of the foundation is actually very beautiful, and it's definitely one that you can work with and, you know, wear it sheer or build it up, however you want to wear it, and it's still going to look really beautiful on your skin. I think if you have dry skin, it's going to cling to those areas because of how it, you know, kind of meshes in with the skin. So I would just be a bit wary of that if you've got dry skin. Maybe use an oil underneath, something very moisturizing. But if you've got an oily skin, I think this is going to work quite nicely for you. Combination, normal skin, yeah, it's going to be nice. So where this foundation says that it's water resistant, smudge proof, like all of that, it doesn't really budge, to be honest. I did a test of this last Saturday. I went to a Indian pre-wedding party, and we all know how those go down. Lots of dancing, it gets very hot in there, your outfit's really hot, you end up, you know, just a little bit sweaty. I know, not cute. It happens. I didn't do any touch-ups throughout the evening. I didn't even look in the mirror the whole evening. I saw my face when I came home. I found that my foundation was still very much on. It was all on. I just did have a little bit of shine around my T-zone, but it wasn't anything too offensive. It wasn't like, oh my God, get me a blotting paper or powder right now. It was just a bit shiny, but the foundation was still very much on. It hadn't separated, which some foundations can do when you sweat. It lasted. So in terms of its wearability, I would say it is quite a long wearing foundation. Also, I believe Huda said that you don't need to set this foundation with powder. Me personally, I feel like you do, just because the way it kind of like sits within your skin, it's not like on top of your skin, it kind of like meshes in. So if you are someone that like for me personally, where I get like smile and laugh lines, the foundation might end up like going in the crease after a little while. I definitely get that around my mouth sometimes, so I feel like I do need to set it with powder. Now, something I really don't like about this foundation is the fact that it's scented. It's got this like perfume smell to it. It smells quite strong. It just makes me feel like my skin at some point might get irritated. I just don't like the smell. I like foundation to smell of foundation or nothing, or yeah, just not perfume. Now, finally, I'm going to talk about the shade of the foundation. Now, this foundation comes in 30 shades, which I think is a really good start for someone that's not got any foundations to their beauty line, and yeah, they're going all in with 30 shades. I think that's fantastic. It's an incredible effort. It's really nice that the thought is there to try and include everyone. Huda does say that there is a foundation shade for everyone. If I'm honest with you, I believe there are huge gaps in the shade range. Now, I've actually tried the foundation a good few times, like as in different shades. Department store lighting is just the worst. I'm telling you now, guys, if you go to a store to try this foundation, please don't buy it there and there on the spot. I don't care how good it looks in the mirror. Go outside, let it settle into your skin, and then make your decision, girl. So the letters that she's got with the numbers of the foundation shades are the undertone. So there's N, which is neutral, B, which is blue, I believe, G, which is golden, and there's R for red. I was more looking at N and G, and there wasn't really a massive selection within the medium and kind of tan range with N. It was just very GGG, like very golden. And if you haven't seen my video where I talk about undertones and things like that, then I will link it for you now. And we've established from that video that I actually have a neutral undertone. You know, I'm warm skinned, but I have a neutral undertone. So that is what I was looking for. I found that just a few of the neutral shade foundations within the kind of shade range that I was looking at, which was medium and tan, I found that they ended up being way too light for me, and it just wasn't going to work. So I had to settle for golden, which is normally what I do with foundations when they don't do a neutral undertone, because yeah, some just don't. So after trying many foundations, I ended up settling with two. I ended up trying 350G, which is called Dulce De Leche. Correct me if I've said that so wrong. The shade goes on quite light at first, and then it does oxidize. Now, it doesn't take too long to oxidize, to be perfectly honest with you. I feel like it does oxidize a little bit more throughout the day as well. So again, that's something to be wary of. When I was trying so many different shades, they'd look good as soon as they go on, and I was like, yeah, that's my shade. And they would, like brown sugar, it looked like I was a different race. But I feel like the golden undertone foundations are very yellow. They are very golden, and they're very yellowy orange. So again, something to bear in mind. I found that this foundation is probably the closest match to my skin. It works well with my neck. It's not perfect, it's not spot on, probably because it is too golden, a bit too warm for me, but it's definitely the closest match for me. In terms of like shade reference with MAC, I'm about an NC42 generally. I did compare it on the other side of my face to another shade, which is 320G Tres Leche. I think that's how you say it. This is just a few shades lighter than Dulce De Leche. This one goes on very light on me. So you can see how many mistakes I've made with foundation, trying to find the right one for you guys. It was way too pale, looked ashy, but it still has the right amount of warmth in it. So annoyingly, I have found that Dulce De Leche is just a touch too dark. I mean, it works. I can make it work with highlighter and all of that, but it's still not quite right. And then Tres Leche is too light. But I found that when I mix the two foundations together, I get more of a better base. The light and ashiness from Tres Leche kind of balances out the amount of warmth in Dulce De Leche, which is why I like using these two together. As you can see, I've got these two on my face right now, mixed together, and you can see that in the demo also. For £32, I am expecting a perfect match foundation. I want to wear it and know that it's going to match me, not have to kind of like tweak it with another foundation or pair it with a, you know, a light concealer and kind of do all of that kind of stuff to try and make it work. I just want to put it on and I want it to match. It is annoying that I have had to use two, but if you are after one foundation and you don't mind, you know, making it work and all of that, then Dulce De Leche, or whatever, however it's called, is going to work for you if you're around my skin tone. I did want to be as honest with you guys as possible. I didn't just want to come on here and be like, the foundation's amazing because it's Huda and blah blah blah. It is amazing. It is a lovely foundation. I think it's got its pros and cons, which I've kind of gone through in this video. I love the finish of it. I hate the smell of it. I love how it goes on. It's really smooth. I love how it wears. There's a lot of plus points. It's definitely a very good foundation, and you can see a lot of thought and effort has gone into the foundation. I love that there are 30 shades, but I'm very disappointed that you've missed quite a big like shade range and like category. I know it's going to last me a long time because a little bit is going to go a long way, but if and when she does add more shades to the range, then fingers crossed, I'm hoping she brings out more shades within this kind of medium category. And more like neutral undertones or something like that. And if she gets the shade right next time, then I wouldn't mind spending £32 on the foundation. I hope this video has helped you guys. I hope you've got a better insight to the Faux Filter foundation. Let me know if you're gonna buy it. Let me know if it works for you, what you've used it with. Leave it down below in the comment section. Who's got the right shade? You know, let me know. Of course, if I've missed anything out and you wanna know anything more about the products that I've shown you today, then please do leave any questions down below in the description, no, not in the description box, in the comment section, and I will answer them for you. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, if you found it helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'm so close to 100k. Please help me get there, guys. So close. I love you all so much, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye.